Hi everyone, I am back with some more interesting facts again. Just enjoy and read properly in lockdown days with making chemistry easy. Yeah, yesterday we have read about optical isomerism part 1 about the chirality. So let's see about today's class. This is optical isomerism part 2. So also let me feel happy with subscribing my channel, liking my channel, and also sharing to everyone, to your friends. So also do comment me about your doubts, and if you like the class also do comment me in the comment box. So let's begin today's class. This is optical isomerism part 2. Yesterday we have read about chirality. What does chirality means? When the mirror images are different and when they are not superimposable, they are called the chiral objects. For chiral objects we need asymmetric objects. Asymmetric objects are most important here. We need asymmetric objects for chiral compounds. Today we are going to see specific rotation. Yesterday I said that today I'm going to bring you specific rotation. It is a very important concept, but it is not that important for JEE and NEET, but you need to learn the concept as well. So let's start today's class with specific rotation. Then I will bringing you the chiral carbon R and S configuration, while D and L configuration is also there. So let's see what is specific rotation. Yesterday I said chiral compounds are the optical active compounds. Just rotate the plane polarized light right side or left side. Due to this we have got two configurations that today we are going to read that D and L configurations with all the basic concepts. First of all, let's start with specific rotation. What does specific rotation says? Yesterday I said chiral compounds rotate left and right side the plane polarized right. But there is a specific rotation. Specific rotation is denoted by alpha and the concentration. You know T is the temperature. I will be telling you about it. And that lambda is the wavelength. And Al is the tube length. I will be saying the polarized length, and here rho is the density or the concentration. So let's first see one concept. Just listen. When L and rho are fixed, then the alpha value becomes standardized, and hence this is called a specific rotation. When there is a standard value of alpha, then that called as a specific rotation. So in the previous picture, just I'm going, see here the 5, the showing the 5, that is the uh, tube of the plane polarized light. That is the important thing, that L concept is here. So just a second. See, here this 5, this is the length of the polarizer. This is L, this is the L. So in this figure, this is the L, and we need to know the rho also of this, means the density is this, and lambda is the wavelength of the light. We need to know there is a specific thing. Here we are using the lambda as sodium D line. Just remember that we are using here sodium D line. What is sodium D line? Just google it and find it out. And you just, if you want to know that, just comment me in the comment box. And also if you find out what is sodium D line, just write in the comment box. Here L is the length of the tube or the length of the polarizer, and the lambda, I will be telling what is lambda, that is sodium D line. And temperature is, there will be a specific temperature for specific rotation. So let's see what is that specific temperature. See, this specific temperature, this is what specific rotation that I said. This is a specific rotation. and this temperature is also fixed. This temperature is fixed at 25 degrees centigrade. This specific rotation works at 25 degrees centigrade, and this lambda is sodium D line. Just search in Google and just let me know who, tell me in the comment box. And this L is what? L is the length. It is also fixed. It is 1 decimeter. This is 10 centimeter. This is also fixed. And also this rho is also fixed. Rho is what? Rho is 1 gram per milliliter. This is the density of the concentration. 1 gram per milliliter. We need to take the density as well. Per milliliter we have to take 1 gram. This is all about specific rotation. If this amount is fixed, this is specific for specific rotation. If this amount is fixed, means temperature, lambda, L, rho, then the rotation is fixed. This is the rotation, and this is specific rotation. This alpha here is only the rotation, but here alpha here is the specific rotation at specific temperature and lambda and wavelength. This is all about specific rotation. No more thing, just you need to know that much, because this is not much important for JEE and NEET. Just learn, because the plane polarized light is turned left or right by chiral compounds. So this is all about rotation. This is a specific rotation at this concentration and this temperature it happens. Nothing more about that. Just move. Just we are going on. Let's see what is D and L configuration here. Yesterday I said when chiral compound turns the plane polarized light right side, then it is called a dextrorotator. See, this is the plane polarized light. This is the plane polarized light here, and it is turning right side. This is dextrorotatory. Here this is the dextrorotatory. While you can see here, this is levorotatory, means the chiral compound is turning the plane polarized light left side. This is D and L configuration. Only D and L configuration we can know by experiment. We cannot find that. This is only done by experiment. This is nothing more than that. See what is dextrorotation and what is levorotation. Just in terms, just want to learn, and we'll be moving on. Dextrorotation and levorotation are terms used in chemistry and physics to describe the optical rotation of plane polarized light. See, I said that when plane polarized light turns right side, it is dextrorotatory. When left side, it is levorotatory. From the point of view of the observer, dextrorotation refers to the clockwise or the right-handed rotation that I said, and the levorotation refers to the counterclockwise or the left-handed rotation. Counterclockwise means anti-clockwise. It will move anti-clockwise, means left side. So it is levorotation. This is all about dextrorotation and levorotation. Now there is an important term, that is chiral carbon. Yesterday we have read about chirality. Chirality means asymmetric things, and there is the mirror image is not superimposable. This is chirality. Today we are going to see chiral carbon. Which is chiral carbon? Chiral carbon is a carbon which is attached to different groups. This is chiral carbon. When a carbon is attached to different carbon, this is called chiral carbon. See, here is one also example. C is connected to F, OH, CH3 and H. We have seen this CH3 is coming towards us and H is going away from us. So here C is attached to, here C is a asymmetric carbon. This C is a asymmetric carbon that yesterday we have seen, and also yesterday we have seen the mirror image as well. And here the chiral carbon means what? Means its mirror image does not superimpose this. We cannot superimpose the mirror image. Yesterday we have seen that its mirror image does not superimpose. This is all about chiral carbon here. We will take some more examples in the next slide. Let's see. The previous one also a asymmetric carbon. Asymmetric carbon is most important for a chirality. Chiral carbon is a asymmetric carbon. Just remember, it is not symmetric. If it will be symmetric, then it will be optically inactive. Optically active are means the mirror images are not superimposable and is it asymmetric. This is all about optical activity and chirality. See, this is one very good example. See, we try to draw its mirror image. Let's see how to draw its mirror image. See, the bromine is connected to top and you can see the fluorine going outside. See, this carbon we have just torn it, and now you see the hydrogen is connected over here, the bromine going towards top and the chlorine here. Just the mirror image. See, if you take the mirror image of it and try to fix on the original image, then it will not superimpose. See, you can take the compound the right side and just rotate it and just fix it over there. It will not superimpose. Also, if you try to rotate in your ways and just waste 2 hours, then it will be headache to you and you cannot superimpose this image on that image. And we will find at last you will find that it is a optically active compound, and when optically active compounds are there, the mirror image are not superimposed and your 2 hours are wasted. So just remember, when there is a asymmetric carbon and there is a chiral carbon, the mirror image are not superimposable and it is a optically active compound. Here this is a optically active compound. Sorry, active compound. I will also say some examples where chiral carbons are also optically inactive. We will be discussing in the next coming classes, but up to that just remember, when there is optically active, then the carbon must be a chiral carbon and the carbon must be asymmetric. This is all about asymmetric means it is a chiral. This is all about the thing. This is about optically active compound and this is chirality. This is one most important example also, just remember it. Let's see next. Now just take R and S configuration. See, this is a very important configuration that we need to know at least before giving JEE and NEET, because it is very important in optical isomerism. Just see, there are two rules before we start what is R and S configuration. There are two rules, just I am writing, and the first rule is that you need to arrange or number the priority order. You need to arrange or number the atoms or the molecule compounds atoms in priority order, or the molecules in the priority order. Second, you need to take the hydrogen backwards, means away from you. The hydrogen should not come towards you. Now, in R and S configuration is very important. So just remember, whenever you are going to write R and S configuration, the hydrogen should be away from you. The hydrogen should not come towards you. This is a very important thing. Priority order and hydrogen, these two are most important in R and S configuration. Just listen. You need to take hydrogen backward. These two are the rule. Just write it down or take the snapshot. Here is one example over here, R and S configuration. I am going to give the very important concept and I will clear your doubts also. See here, just a second. See, here the fluorine is given the first priority because fluorine has highest atomic number than this in this compound. Next here OH is given. Next CH3 is given highest priority, then H is given the highest priority. But see here what happens, the hydrogen is coming towards us, it is not backward. So what to do, we need to flip the compound. We just flip the compound. If we will flip the compound, then the hydrogen will go backside and our configuration will be correct. Just see how to do it. In the next page, just a second. I will erase here. We will do here. If you want to write the rules, just take the snapshot or just go back, because it is a recorded video. You can go back and just take the snapshot or write it down in your notes. Just see. If you try to do the take the hydrogen backside, see, write the carbon here, write the F here, take the carbon backside, just flip it. Here you can take the hydrogen here, because hydrogen is going back. Hydrogen has gone back. Now if you have flipped the compound, the OH will come towards you. So now the OH will be coming towards us. Now CH3, if you flip the compound like this, if the compound was like this, you will flip the compound like this. So CH3 will come to this side. So here you will see CH3. So this is a very important thing. Now you just number your order. See, here 2, here 3, here 4. Now see, first, second, third and fourth. Just remember, forget about hydrogen. Hydrogen is just away from you. If you see the compound from carbon, the hydrogen will not be seen to you. So just see, the order goes like this. When the order goes anti-clockwise, it is a S configuration. Just remember, when the order goes anti-clockwise, it is S configuration, and your hydrogen must be away from you, means at the back side. It should not come towards you. When the hydrogen is away from you and you are going in an anti-clockwise way, it is S configuration. If you take the mirror image of this, you will be finding the CH3 will be here and OH will be there and hydrogen will be in your backside. If you see if you number the priority order, your 2 will be coming at this position and 3 will be at this position. So as OH will be here, CH3 will be here. So the configuration will change. It will go clockwise. So clockwise direction means it is R configuration. Just remember, R means clockwise, S means anti-clockwise. S configuration is anti-clockwise direction and R configuration is your clockwise direction. This is all about R and S configuration. Just remember, your hydrogen should be at the backside, means going away from you, and you should remember the atomic number priority also. You need to remember the atomic numbers of certain compounds and you should know the atomic number so that you can find the priority order very quickly. We are going to take some examples in the next coming classes. So this is all about today's class. I hope you all understand what is specific rotation, DLN configuration, chiral carbon, and R and S configuration. This is all about R and S configuration. We are going to take some examples in the next class, R and S configuration. There are some good examples of R and S configuration. So just read well. Hope you enjoyed today's class. Hope you all understand today's class. Thank you all. Stay safe from corona. Stay at home. Be safe. Enjoy your vacation up to the lockdown days. And just read with Making Chemistry Easy with me. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you so much.